Stephanie with Feral Focus. I just wanted to tell you all about our latest trip. Our camping, glamping trip from hell. Truly. Just wait till you hear everything that went wrong. We've got injuries, dog sickness, wind, weather, lots and lots of things going wrong. And I also forgot to tell you about our crazy neighbors. I don't really want to say too loud, but I'll tell you later. So this was pretty much our camping, glamping trip from hell. Totally. It's like I can't even remember everything that's gone wrong on this trip. It started with right when we were packing, we were so going to be on time and leave when we wanted to leave, and then we kind of got confused in our own heads and went the wrong way, out of our way, took the long way. It was stupid. So I felt jinxed right from the get-go. So then we had a pretty good drive and we got to our camp spot and it was pretty nice. It's a beautiful little privately owned camp place. It has a pool, it has a playground, it just looked nice. And we found our spot and we pulled into it. You can see it behind me. And we got the trailer almost all the way set up, and hubby pulled a muscle in his chest area, like ribs or somewhere, and it was just awful. He couldn't move and breathe, and he's had a cough, so the cough just made it worse, and so I had to finish setting up camp. And I'm not used to that. He does everything. So I figured out that I could do it, most of it. Some of it I don't think I can do. Putting in the bunks, we've got a couple of things that are just hard about that, that need to be worked on, need to be fixed. So I'm sitting here waiting for my son, who has offered to take down the camper for me. I've packed up everything, but when we got here, it said no rain. So yeah, it was drizzling, raining, wet, which is not my favorite thing for camping. And we mostly were camping just to sleep here because we didn't want to get a hotel room. We wanted to bring our dogs, and we're here for our granddaughter's graduation. So the easiest thing just seemed to be camping and having our own trailer and having all our stuff. But we weren't here much, so it felt kind of weird to just leave our camp spot all day into the night and just leave it here. We didn't leave anything valuable, so I guess there was that. So let's see. Oh, here's what happened next. Pookie, the little blonde dog, hubby's dog, got diarrhea. So here he is, kind of an invalid, and the dog is just pooping everywhere, and I am just not having a good time. Not at all. It's terrible. I forgot some of my skincare and makeup, which, if you know me, is a big deal because I care about stuff like that. We slept pretty good. Hubby ended up sleeping in my glamping chairs, which, if you haven't seen my pillow chairs, he was pretty comfy, but it just seemed like the most comfortable rest was in a recliner. And so I ended up sleeping in the tent alone, which was no problem. I had my doggy Buster with me, and he had his doggy Pookie with him, which was still pooping the whole 3 days. We've been here 5 days. He's pretty much over it now as we go home. Yay. I ended up having to take care of hubby the whole time, drive everywhere. I learned driving directions. I'm such a princess. I really learned a lot. So we had beautiful weather, and now we're heading home to triple digits, which right now it's breezy and like 60 and nice. And I'm really sad to go home to that heat wave. Driving in the hot, everything's gonna be melty. So we were at my son's house just hanging out and visiting with the family, and my phone died, which I don't know what's going on with it, but it's constantly dying. And so for few hours I forgot about it and I plugged it in, and then all of a sudden, ding, I get a text from the campground letting me know that my neighbors have said that our canopy tent, which is right there, see it right there, blew over in the wind and was just kind of laying against the fence, which was fine because at least it wasn't in the road and nobody had to go get it. So we hightailed it over here, and by myself I had to kind of pull that whole canopy off. It was upside down. So I had to do that by myself, had to set the tent up, which we usually do 2 people, and it's easier with 2 people. But I did it by myself, and it was kind of a struggle. I'm planning on taking it down with my son. A little bit easier with 2 people. Although now I know I can do that by myself. I could actually do most of it by myself. And once we fix that one bunk that's hard to pull in and out, there's something catching on it, then I think I could probably do the whole thing by myself. Not that I want to, though. I really don't. I like hubby taking care of me, and he likes taking care of me. He is not happy to be sitting in a chair while I'm doing all the work. So that's just our way. But I just have to say, even with all that has gone wrong, I'm so much happier having my own bed and my own stuff with me than staying in some hotel room. And, you know, with dogs, it's just too hard to travel. And we're happy having our own stuff. So no regrets. And as much as a pop-up is work to put up and take down, and I'm seeing all these campers around me, I still love the spacious feeling of it, you know, just having all the windows, and it just feels so light and airy. I still think I might want to add a camper to my repertoire of things that I own, maybe another kind of older thing that I can fix up, but I think if I ever had my druthers, I'd still choose the pop-up. It's just so light and airy and spacious, and we really had everything we needed. So even though it feels like the trip from hell, so many other things could have gone wrong. I mean, it could have broke, it could have fell down, I don't know, lots of things could have happened. It's still up, and it's still beautiful, and it's still working, and we're fine, and we're heading home, and we have another trip in just a few weeks, so we got to get things fixed so that if I have to set up by myself, it'll be a breeze. So have you had a trip from hell? I'd like to hear your experience. That's my trip from hell. Really not too bad, but while it was happening, I wasn't happy and I wasn't laughing about it. But I think that when we look back on this, we will laugh about it. But I also think that it was kind of scary for the kids to see Dad laid up, and you know, they're all worried about him, and it's Father's Day, and he was really fine. It's just, you know, something like that, it's pulled muscle. You don't really want to keep on injuring it. So he had to lay back. So I told him, just go sit in a chair. Can you see him? No, he's behind the picnic table sitting in a chair. And I'm like, stay down, stay down. He wants to get up and help. And I'm like, don't make it worse. So thanks so much for stopping by, watching my channel. And there's my trip from hell. I should have took more pictures, but I was super mad the whole time everything was happening. And when my tent was upside down, I was not a happy person to take a picture of it. Just imagine it, like a turtle on its back. But our stuff survived, and everything is fine, and we live to camp another day. So I'll see you next time, and I'm going to have a happier trip to tell you about. So happy trails to you. Bye now. So I'm packing up, and I'm not used to packing up. I think I keep saying that. I was packing up Buster's crate because he was in his crate inside the camper, and I forgot that I had just filled up his water bowl, and I spilled water all over my cushions. And some of you might have watched my video that I made my cushion covers. They held up perfectly, no problem. I just sponged it off with a towel and laid it outside, and they're dry already. But one more thing. Okay, so I just wanted to add one more thing about our trip. We had these neighbors next to us that I think are full-time campers from New York, and they were quiet and nice. In fact, they're probably the ones who reported our tent that got turned upside down. So we really appreciated that. But they also had an interesting fight, really loud. And we're in a pretty much a family campground, and I will tell you that there's, hey, be quiet. There is nothing I can repeat because every word was pretty much a curse word. So I'm going to do a PG version of their fight. So the fella was very disturbed by his somewhat maybe girlfriend's choice of people to hang out with. And by hang out with, am I blocking you?
No, not at all.
And by hang out with, I mean probably exactly what you're thinking. And so he had a problem with who she was hanging out with. And after all, when he hung out with some girl, Caitlin, he told her all about it. Be quiet, you guys. And when she hung out with somebody he was upset about, and he was very racial about it, and used disturbing language that in a family campground you just really wouldn't want to do. And they talked a lot about the drugs they were going to take together, and then he decided he couldn't trust her anymore, and he's yelling, and he finally just decides to leave in a big huff, and he drives off. He says you could just keep everything, which was just basically 2 tents and her car. And then the next day he was back, and it was just like nothing happened. So that was interesting. Very. And there were people on the other side of them, like right there, sitting there, making their dinner over a campfire, listening to this huge blowout fight. We were all kind of shocked that they would be that loud right in the middle of a family campground. So this trip just went on and on. Now I'm stopped at a travel center waiting for hubby. He's gonna go and get something to eat, and it is right now triple digits. It's 100 degrees, and we left coastal weather that was just beautiful, and wind was blowing and it was nice. It was like 60, and now it's 100 and we're boiling hot and wishing we were back on the coast. So that's the little update to our trip and the trip from hell, pretty much. And we'll see you next time. So bye now.